Daniel Nanny coming up, currently in fourth, trying to make his way past Matthew Daniels. Looks like he's coming up alongside him down the front stretch. You got Elliott and Jake cruising up front, doing their thing. Matthew Daniels seems to get a pretty good run off the front stretch into one and two though. And here comes the other Daniel.
Yeah, Matthew right there. A little contact between the 30 though. And he held on to it. That was Daniel Haney. Man, I'm going to tell you what, that was, wow. You know, that could have been disastrous right there, but he held on to that thing there, man, Alex. Well, that was a good save.
Yeah, there were a bunch of people.
Wow, I don't know. Man, I wish I could go back on that there and show a little bit, but man, that was... And then he gets into contact with another one and he saves it. And, well, as I say that...
Did you turn? Yeah,
yep,
turn
that's
right
Ashton.
there.
Wow. Man, he almost had it saved right there. Puts it under caution for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, no, I thought he held that pretty well when he got turned around, and then he just got a quick lick of someone right there on the back stretch, and he got into the wall, and now we're under caution. Wonder what everyone's pit strategy is going to be for this race. I don't know how many, if they have a limited amount of sets or whatnot going into the race, but I'm pretty, we're about, I mean, I guess we're 11% of the way done with the race already, lap 11 of 100.
Yeah, no,
I'm curious to see what they're going to do.
I'm with you there, too. I'm interested in seeing, I mean, again, with the tire limits that they've got, you know, they've got enough tire and limits to pretty much do what they want here. I think it's still early to pit, though. I really do.
I agree with that. I think maybe get some guys looking. Maybe depending on how the wear is for this race. Ooh, you got a fake out back there. And
yeah, I mean, if you're in the back of the pack, though, why not? I mean, if you're like 15th, 20th on back, why not, you know, come on in and get a set of tires? I mean, if you're top 10, yeah, you're going to have to, I'd say, go with the other crowd.
Definitely agree. I think if you're just hanging out up front, you know, just kind of roll with what. I think that mark you said, maybe about top 10 or so. Those guys, I think that's a pretty good mark. Kind of follow the guy in front of you, you know, kind of thing until we get towards the end and people start to gamble a little bit, see what they can get, especially if we get frisky with the cautions, you know.
Crown of champ here in the Great Lakes Truck Series. It's been a good season so far, and just to let's run a caution. Let's go over a little bit of the point situation. Look at what it looks like right now. Elliott Henderson, man, out front. Jake Miller sitting right behind him. The difference in points behind those two is only 2 points. I mean, that's close. Wow. Now, Eric Cuff is sitting in third. He's 14 behind the leader. So it would put him 12 behind Jake. He's not out of this thing by no means. Him or Brandon. Now, William Barb sitting in fifth. He's 24 back. He's going to have to need some help. Him and Christopher Heller right there. Both of those guys. And then Samuel Hoff, who was 35. Samuel really is just kind of way back off the pace, but I'm not going to count out Brandon. If you can get up here and have some good. The problem is with Elliott and Jake running like they are. I mean, obviously 1 and 2. It's going to be very hard for Brandon, which again, Brandon is running in third. But the problem when you're 14 points behind and you're only 2 behind with Jake and Elliott, it's going to be very hard for Brandon to make up any ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty storybook, kind of like last week, where you got the same two guys cruising up front. I mean, they're teammates too. So that I guess is the force to be reckoned with in this league right now, and obviously they're proving it. Like you said, 1 and 2, 2 points apart. But Brandon was doing pretty good last week too, from what I recall from watching the race. I'm pretty hopeful for some of the other guys to get up there and see, because we got Christopher Heller right there. He's in 5th, so kind of hopeful to see how he comes out, and Brandon as well. See if they can overtake this superpower of a team, I guess, as we go back into green right now.
Yeah, green flag's out. Back out front, Elliott, man, drops on the hammer. And then we're back racing here. As you can see, Jake falls in line. And again, yes, they are teammates. Eric Kemp, Brandon. So you pretty much got the top 4 chase drivers running all the top 4 right there. But again, the problem is when your top 2 guys are running 1-2 in the points and only 2 points separate them, you're 14, 15 back. It's going to make for a long, long day unless those guys have trouble. But again, being teammates, they're definitely going to talk to each other, find out what they can do and what they can't do. Here comes Brandon looking to the inside. And looks like Daniel. Let's look here, Daniel Nanny. Well, that guy's not having a good day. Put off the pace back there.
Oh, gosh. You know, I'm kind of curious as to what happened.
Well, let's see. Daniel Nanny. Right there at about the middle of the pack. Let's go back on the replay here and watch. Right there in the Fanatic Fantasia car right there. Yeah. Almost 3 wide. Went back 2 wide. Looks like the other truck. Oh, looks like one truck might have just bounced off the wall there. Still on the inside though. Oh, just got contact by the 3. 3 come off down on the wrong side and jumped the hump right there. The reason wasn't no caution is because they were off the track far enough. You know, and I know if you're off the track far enough, actually there's a caution now. Through a caution. Sure what through the caution.
You know, that's kind of curious too, because like you were about to say, as both of us are well aware, I mean, if you're out the way and you're off enough, they don't really care. I mean, obviously they care, but they're not gonna waste the caution on that, especially if you're like as far out of the way as.
I know iRacing won. I mean, obviously the admins have a discretion on. I'm not sure about all that in the league. Being as big a track as this is, the cautions take so long. So if guys run off the track and iRacing doesn't throw one, usually it doesn't mean there's a lot of danger on the track. Because this being a big track, cautions are long. You want to kind of minimize as much as you can. You are in the caution here. Take your time here tonight. And I'm going to say it was due to the, Nathan Nixon and Daniel and all them right there. I didn't see the caution fly at first, but evidently it came out after. We're good. Unfortunately, we've seen some guys though have some awesome runs here.
Absolutely, like you said. I mean, I didn't get a hit on it much earlier about the two guys up front. I mean, they're rolling together a lot. I wouldn't doubt that they're talking with each other. Definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. But I mean, you got Brandon and Kev coming up. Those guys are hungry. They're looking for those points that they can get out of these races, being not as close as the first 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, and like what you said, it's going to be close between those 2. And if it stays the way it is, pretty much going to be a 2-horse race next week for the championship.
Yeah, I thought I saw the lights off on the car for a second, but I guess my eyes have deceived me.
They are.
So I guess we're gonna go around again.
Right, we're gonna go around. Lights off on the pace car. I'm so used to saying pace truck. Doing a lot of dirt lately. Pace car. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe next caution or so, depending on how long it takes to get one. I wouldn't doubt that some guys are going to be coming, especially these guys have been running up front, and see how they play their tire management cards for this race, and because I think that's definitely going to play a huge role in this race.
Yes, it is. Tire management, like what you said, and a lot of guys up front have yet to make a pit stop. Now, here's something that's interesting. We normally haven't seen anybody come through the field because normally at this track it's very hard to pass. Everybody's kind of even. It's a draft-based style track, just like pretty much your your plate tracks and so forth. But all the way back from 8th and 10th on back, everybody has pitted around lap 11, and we've got 4 tires. Your top 7 to 8 guys have not pitted, so it'll be interesting to see how well those new tires fare against the older tires here, or is track position king as we go back green here at Michigan. Elliott out front.
Yeah, it seems right off the rip that might be just because of the lines that they got being stacked up like that or whatnot, but it seems like these top 4, like, I mean, it's just like how we saw at the Sprint Cup finale. Like, the people that need to be up front and get those points are up there doing their thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're getting done.
Well, right now, look at Jake, man. He put that thing out there and had a tailgate party for a minute with Elliott Henderson, as those two guys, man, are just nothing but locked up nose to tail. And this is what you want to do as a team. You want to dominate and control the front, as it looks like we've got a car off the pace in the back. Let's see if I can't get to it. Eric Kemp, unfortunately, on pit road. Not sure why. This is probably an unscheduled pit stop right there. But, man, look who's coming to the front rumbling. Brandon. He wants to break up this tandem up here for this team.
Yeah, he was knocking last week, too. I remember saying his name pretty frequently until we decided on just pretty much to go with Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, well, right here, he's been kind of quiet so far, but now he's up here, and I think he understands. Now, it's not a win you're in situation with these guys. It's all about points. So it's still, at this point, I mean, he could win this race. The problem is coming in 14 points back. He's in a huge hole. But this is what he needs to do. He needs to say, look, okay, guys, I'm not giving up. I'm going to be right here because we still got one race to go. I mean, even if it was the end like it was, he's going to be really no worse off than what he was going into next week. So he's still got one more shot at it, going into next week's race there. So he doesn't want to give up anything. He'd love to gain something, but he doesn't want to give it up right now. Right now, look at him right there inside. Well, he is door to door with old Jake Miller, giving him everything he's got. And who's that in the 19? Cole Bradley.
That's Cole Bradley coming up. Definitely.
Not the race he wanted last week. He was doing good last week, but then he ended up, getting in a few wrecks here and there.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate for him. Just dealt bad cards, but that group right up here, that top 5 was sitting together for about a good half a lap or so. Just going real good. Now Bradley's coming up, taking the lead from Henderson now.
And I'm gonna tell you what this.
A little bit.
I'm gonna tell you this here. Remember when I was talking about tires? Cole was one of those who pitted at lap 11. So now we're actually seeing what the benefit of new tires versus older tires, and just by what virtue of maybe 10 or 15 laps or so difference. And you could just see a huge advantage right there as he's able to come up, take the lead from him. Still a good battle going on around here about the third place. And the third place guy, Shane Nicewanger, is another one with those new tires. Look at him going 3 wide.
Yeah, it seems like this long run's favoring those guys. Obviously, because those guys that didn't pit, they're getting a lot more wear on him now. Is Cole's putting a couple truck lengths in between him and Elliott, but Jake's kind of fallen off. The tandem has been disrupted a little bit, and kind of excited to see what transpires now from this.
Yeah, it is right there. Good battle up front. Still about 4 cars all right there as Cole Bradley out front. Here comes Elliott. Actually, Brandon to the inside of Elliott. They're going to battle, and you see Shane back there making moves.
Yeah, Shane's just slicing through these guys. Pretty nice to see. He wasn't doing too bad last week either. I remember talking about him a good amount as well. But you can definitely see just the pace difference, right? Like right there, prime example with the new tires versus the 24 lap tires.
Well,
And
Samuel
since-
Hoff's another one there too. We're riding along with here. He's another one. Sitting on those newer tires. Now the bad thing about Shane, he's got a little bit of damage that will hinder him a little bit on a track like this because this place is very aero dependent.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see Sam coming up where he's coming up right now. So obviously, since he missed last week, definitely got some ground to cover. It's pretty nice to see him up here, hooking and jabbing with the leaders, especially the top 2 guys in the points right there. As he's trying to make a move get up past Jake right now.
Yeah, it is Jake right there sitting in about the 5th place spot. Marshall Wilson there in the 7th. He's another one sitting on newer tires. Everybody just. You can start seeing it kind of fan out. The guys in newer tires coming up. Whoa. That's not what Jake wants to happen. As you've seen, Shane get a little wiggly. Got up into the side of Jake. Jake does not want to take damage here and lose ground or even more ground to Elliott. Remember, he's only 2 points back, but boy, every point counts, especially when you got Elliott Henderson running like he is right now.
Yeah, Elliott seems to. I think he likes that kind of middle groove that he's been rolling with pretty much the entire time. He's been doing pretty good in it. Jake's kind of falling off a little bit.
Yeah, and he got a little pushed up right there. Jake's hanging out in the 6th place spot right there.
Yeah, but they got that. Oh, there's the duck truck.
Yeah, old Peter. Pete right there. Old Pete out there with the duck. And he ain't doing too bad. He's up to 10th right now. Now, he's one of the ones that has yet to pit, so he's just seeing what he can maintain. A lot of guys on different pit strategies. Jake, though, let's see if we can't get a close-up of him. It looks like maybe a little damage on that left side. You see it right there from the shot. That could, well, now I do know they have a fast fix here. When he uses it, he hopefully it goes green the rest of the way, but if we get a caution, obviously he'll try to probably do some optional to get that thing knocked out. But that right there, Alex, that could hurt him, and we're seeing it already playing a factor right now.
Yeah, from looking at that angle, looks like that little right up on the front left, like you said, you can see that little line, that little gap of darkness right there. Looks like it could hinder him. You could even maybe see it a little bit from right here.
Oh yeah,
but he's still trying. As Sam moves up to 2nd over Elliott, as I see on the scoreboard on the side.
Sam's doing good. So the top 2 guys are the ones that pitted on lap 11. Obviously, you got the fresher tires out there. You can see Elliott's the first one that has not pitted yet, along with Brandon right behind him. So they're maintaining pace, but I'm telling you what, they're very fast. I'm not going to say the newer tires out there are the ultimate be-all, end-all of what you need, but you can see they definitely are a little bit of advantage. So it's something to think about if a late caution comes out late in the race and you have enough time to, let's say, come through the field. If you're not going to lose that many positions by coming in, and I say that many positions, I'm saying, let's say, if you're still going to be in the top 10, let's say, I'm going to probably say a little further than that up, but let's say in the top 10. If you're outside the top 10, depending on when that caution comes late there, Alex, it might, I don't know if you should do it or not. I don't know if the tires will benefit, because it did take Cole and them a little bit to come through the field, though, but they still were able to do it.
Yeah, I think that plays a part in too, with just maybe traffic. in general, you know, kind of just moving your way through the field, regardless of if the guys in front of you are a tad bit slower or not. Like, traffic will still cause a little bit more as you see them two building the gap from the third place battle right here. But Sam's coming up right on Bradley's heels right now.
Yeah, Sam is moving up. He's actually running down, like you said, Cole up front, who is leading it. But Sam doing an outstanding job, like you said, trying to push up there on the back end.
Yeah, see. Ooh, I thought he was about to try and dip low there for a second. But Bradley got a nice run off the top right there. Got a little bit of space in between them, a little bit of breathing room for a second.
Good one so far.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely dig both those paint schemes right there.
Good looking
definitely get on
trucks.
board with both of those.
Good little trucks right there. But we got pit stops. First green flag stops. That brings Elliott Henderson on pit road, and he brings a slew of top runners winning. Brandon, Jake, and I think Jake's probably going to follow the lead of whatever Elliott does all night long, you know, because this is pretty much what you've got to do. That if you're in Jake's position, you're 2 points out coming in, you pretty much have to almost, maybe late in a race, you might be able to, if it comes down to the last pit stop and your nose to tell, you might be able to do something different. But for the most part, you're going to have to mimic what Elliott does, because you got to keep ground coming in next week.
I definitely agree with that. I think those two are, whichever one's in front of either, then the other one's just going to mimic them. They do really good together. They roll, I think, fantastically together.
Yes.
As a tandem, and they're as you can see in this race, it took a good 20 laps for them to be even, like, someone else to be competitive with passing them.
Yep.
That's saying something. Now these guys are coming off with new tires. Kind of excited to see them move up, get back up front, and see how it goes about building that defense up from the front again with those two.
Will battle for the lead. You see Samuel right there trying to get up underneath Cole to take that spot away. He's looked on the inside a couple times just to keep Cole kind of honest up front, who is out front leading this one here at Michigan. Here we're one race away from the last championship race of the season, folks, here in the Great Lakes. Not the great race, but it is a great race, by the fact. But the Great Lakes Truck Series here tonight. And hope everybody has enjoyed it. If you're out there watching, hey, hit the like and the share out there in the league. We definitely appreciate it. Been a good one so far. As the top two guys out there pitted on lap 11. We've had a lot of pit stops happening. Now, here's the thing. Elliott Henderson back here right now. He is just got back on the lead lap. So he's going to be, might as well say, about a lap behind. If I am Cole or them, when do I pit? Because, boy, you know, Elliott and them's going to game busters.
Honestly, I don't have a good prediction for you on that one. I think that's a great question. Honestly, if it were me with my zero racing experience, I would probably take what I have gotten now. Maybe we can just keep flipping the cards, you know, get a nice run, because they're still out front by a pretty decent amount over Elliott and them.
Let's see what lap time wise. Elliott ran a 40.39 to a 41.57, which, you know, kind of tells me right there, and that's kind of unusual. You know, yeah, it's almost, well, it's not quite 2 seconds difference, probably say a second and a half, give or take. But really, not as fast as I thought it would be, you know, especially. So what that tells me is, yes, there is an advantage with the newer tires, but it's not that much like we might see at some other tracks. So later on, while pit strategy might benefit, because if you can stay out front far enough, and right now there's a 35-second gap between them. So let's say it was 30 laps to go here, Alex, in this race, and Elliott was sitting where he was, he would run out of time catching Cole, because and I know after a while those tires are going to level off and he's not going to be as fast. So you've got to keep that in the back of your mind on a late green flag or late yellow flag style caution. Do you got enough time to make it back to the front?
Yeah, I think you got some very good points right there, and I don't contest any of them. Actually, I think that's a pretty good read. I definitely agree with those guys kind of chilling up there in the front, just kind of making do with what they got right now. Kind of, like I said, maybe just keep flipping the script, like what set of people has newer tires at the time,
Yeah. And what I see right now is you see a good battle going on. It's about 10th, 11th, 12th right here. Obviously, all these guys, just made their pit stops here around lap 31. And right now, though, you've got Cole, Samuel, and the guys up front who pitted at lap 11. Yes, they're going to have to stay on their strategy and stay out for a little bit longer. And basically what this does, as long as this race goes green, now obviously everything we're saying here, Alex, if a caution happens later on, you pretty much just throw it out the window. But as long as this stays green, you're right. It's pretty much going to be a chess match on who makes the last pit stop, I believe. And when that last pit stop is made, because here's what's happening. Yes, as soon as Cole and them makes their stop, Elliott and them's going to go by them, and they're going to get the advantage out front, like Cole and them has. Well, guess what? It's just going to cycle back around. So it's going to come down to that last pit stop. Again, cautions, always, throw a kink in that armor a little bit. But going to be interesting so far. It's been a good race, though, between them.
It seems that maybe can we get a look at those lap times again? Like now, I'm kind of curious just to see as Shane goes down pit road right here.
There you go. Shane down on pit road, Shane Posse, that he was running 5th at the time. But you could see the lap times there. Everybody else see him up there. You see a 41.89. The Elliott's 40.59. So really, what you're actually starting to see a little bit of the fall off. That's only a solid maybe 1.2 seconds maybe. It's not even a second and a half. So you're starting to see always cost the equalization of tires between the two. But here's the thing. Cole and Sam's got to come to the pits. That's a no-brainer. But when do they come into pits? When do they make a pit stop? And when they do, Elliott is going to come around. So again, as long as the caution doesn't come out, which now Cole and them would probably love to see a caution like now. That would benefit them. So that's another scenario.
Yeah, you got these guys kind of coming off. To get back on the lead lap? It looks like maybe passing Cole and Sam. It looks like Sam's about to come in.
Looks like they're going to bring it in for their green flag stop. They are. So
here we go.
Okay, they came in at lap 11. Coming at lap 42. That's telling us right there. 22, 33, 32, 42. That's 30 laps, roughly, give or take. That's about what we've seen everybody do, because Elliott and them came in at 31 laps into the race. Now, obviously, there was a couple cautions in between there to help them out. And you're going to see Elliott and them's just going to storm on by them, like we said before. They're going to be on pit road. I don't think Cole and them's going to lose a lot here. Remember, there was 35-second gap between Elliott and Cole and them up front. But boy, look at that. It's going to be your top 3 guys, Elliott, Jake, and Brandon there, Alex. Those 3 guys. You got Christopher right there in the mix, but those 3 guys running for a championship. Brandon's kind of way far outside looking in, so he's going to have to probably be more aggressive in the bunch than the other 2 are. Jake's probably just going to want to mimic what Elliott does because he's only 2 points behind coming into this one. And remember, they got one more race left next week, and If it stays 2 points between the two teammates, if you're a teammate out there, you got to ask Alex, if you're in Jake's position, what do you do? I mean, you come in 2 points behind. Do you come in next week and say, if it stays like it is, do you come in next week and just be all out aggressive towards Elliott?
I mean,
it's a tough one.
the way I see it, look, who realistically, I'll put myself as say this is real life, right? I'm fighting for a trophy. Why would I want someone else's name on a trophy when I literally could have just took it out from right under him? Regardless of if he's a teammate or not. That's just me personally being a little selfish, but sometimes you got to be that way.
Absolutely.
And it's a competition, and that's what it is.
And you know, and bringing one more aspect into that one, obviously you don't want to wreck a teammate to get it done. You don't want to get both self-wrecked and then take yourself out of it. And then, but you know, you still can't count out Brandon, who right here, if he was to hold where he is, he's still going to be in that hunt going into next week. Yes, he would be about 13, 14 back, points back. But given, 20-some car fields, hey, look, that definitely would only be, two of them guys taking up our racing each other wreck and, disaster waiting to happen. So you don't want to give it up that way either. But I'm with you there too. Teammates, race it out, get up there, and we'll get going. And a little smoke there from Jake. Got in the wall a little bit right there. Oh.
Yeah, it looked like he was bouncing around a little bit. Kind of replaying back to Rockingham when it was literally track throwing people into the wall.
It was,
stuff.
yeah. Well, in Michigan here, you've got a lot of room at this track. It's kind of a multi-groove. Even though really coming out of turn 4, it pushes up the track a lot in turn 4. But for the most part, you've got a lot. I see Brandon actually going for the lead right there. He's going to battle a little bit with Elliott. But you've got a lot of room here to get things done. But this place can push a little bit coming out of the turns. You can get into trouble. And there's what we're talking about right there. Elliott Henderson got into Brandon and then gets into Jake. And wow, just like that, Elliott Henderson is off the pace in the back and Brandon's up front. Boy, I'm going to tell you what, and yellow flag's out because it said Elliott Henderson, but let's go back and watch this again on the replay. I thought Elliott had that thing saved. I didn't see him spinning around or anything. But boy, we saw this kind of live happening. Brandon threw that thing on the inside. He had an aggressive move, and they just got together, and Elliott...
Yeah, I mean, how coincidental is that? We're literally talking about whether, we were talking about how clean you'd race your teammate for a championship. And obviously they're not teammates, but still, coincidentally, both of the teammates have been running 1 and 2 in the race and are currently 2 points between them and in the standings at the top.
Well, now
just get involved.
That's gonna, they're gonna give Jake obviously his position back because caution came out for it. But here's the thing, another thing, you've got 2 teammates up there. Let's throw some devil advocate out there, folks. And I know everybody loves drama, and obviously, I just like, like keeping it fresh up here and so forth. But again, it's all clean fun. But we do have championships on the line here. Now, Elliott really doesn't want to have a bad race here because he knows Jake's right there, only 2 points behind him, and Brandon definitely could make up a huge ground here today. But let's just say out here, that is not the way you want to make friends on the track going into the last race of the season next week, especially with 2 teammates up front, because you're the lone wolf there. Speaking about Brandon out there, so kind of have to keep that in the back of your mind too. What do y'all feel out there in the chat? What do y'all think? It's interesting to get the views. Obviously, the way we see it up here, and emotions run high for drivers and so forth.
Yeah, well, you got some of them, some of the viewers chiming in, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, I can't see what they're putting out there. If anything, I'd like to hear from you, kind of what they're saying. But like you said, no, he's a lone wolf up there. That was a great way to put it. And coincidentally, you get both the teammates involved, regardless of if it was intentional or not. Definitely not pointing any fingers here. Don't want to.
Well, and you know, we never do, because we want to stay as biased as we possibly can. You know, here it looks like Brandon's going to get some optional repairs done on pit road, as he stays on pit road for a very, very long time. Elliot's coming on pit road. Jake's going to get those optional repairs done also. Try to get those, you know, fenders, and also really whatever benefit that Brandon got out of that, he just pretty much lost it all. But really puts him back there in the far back, so forth. Now again, Brandon could have had a penalty because, well, no, looks like he did some optional repairs this week. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure they had a fast fix here. You want to try to hold on to that as long as you can, obviously. But I tell you who this benefits? Guys like Samuel, Marshall. Oh, remember those guys who pitted late? Benefits these guys heavily now.
Yeah, what lap are we sitting at right now? It still says replay for me, so I can't quite see what lap we're on.
There we go.
But yeah, they pitted 40, what, 8-9 laps ago?
They did. They pitted on lap 42 when they pitted, so been not too bad for them. Tell you what pit lap they pitted on right there. Lap 42 is what Samuel pitted on, and lap 40 is what Marshall pitted on. Kind of give an idea there for everybody of what lap everyone pitted on, and the difference in pits. You can see Elliott down at lap 49, 45. So about 9 lap difference is going to be, you know, the telltale. Here we go, green flag. We're back at it.
Yeah, like you were saying, that 9 lap difference or so will probably make a pretty decent difference right here, as you got Elliott sitting back there in 12th and Jake in 14th, and Brandon, like you said, getting those repairs sitting back there in 18th or so. Kind of curious to see how, because now we're halfway done. We got 49 laps left. I'm kind of curious to see how the tire management chess match, as we've been saying, kind of plays out.
And you know they're going to have to make another pit stop, though. You know they're going to have to make another pit stop here. So that's definitely going to be one that they're definitely going to have to make.
I mean, it's looking pretty tight back there.
Yeah, that's Marshall. That's about 6th place. Yeah, that's 6th place spot right there. You see Cole in the mix there along with him, Justin Benden. But up front, Samuel Hoff, and he's trying to hold off old Christopher Heller, who is coming up through the field. Now remember, he's the first one that pitted on lap 48. Daniel Nanny. Is that Nanny? Is it Nanny? Is that
Nanny?
right?
Yeah, I think it's Nanny.
Nanny? All right. Well, we'll get confirmation, folks, eventually. But either way.